If you guys are looking to buy or sell any of your coins on FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, go ahead and check out u4gm.com for a reliable spot to do so using code ELYTE, E-L-Y-Y-T, for 5% off your order. We have waited about 1,500 days for this World Cup, longer than we normally wait because we had to wait an extra half of a year because they decided to do the World Cup in December in Qatar, but that's besides the point. We're less than 3 weeks away now, which is crazy to think about, and I'm getting so giddy about it. Just thinking about it right now. But we're even closer to the World Cup content coming in FIFA Ultimate Team and FIFA in general. But it's not going to be the same as what we saw in FIFA 18 or in FIFA 14. And of course, not the same as what we saw with the separate South Africa game that we saw in 2010. But in FIFA 18, we saw the biggest market crash in the history of FIFA Ultimate Team, rivaled by none. It's still the biggest market crash I've ever seen in Ultimate Team. Cards that were 90K in the day before the World Cup mode came out did not sell at discard price the next day. An insane market crash. Are we going to see the same thing this year? No, but it will still have a decent effect on the market. Are the cards going to drop from 100K to discard price? No, but we will see drops in meta cards. There's no doubt about that. We're going to talk about the effect of the World Cup mode on Ultimate Team, which cards are safe to hold, which cards you want to stay away from, how this World Cup mode is going to work, and more. So if you guys haven't yet, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. But let's start off by talking about what EA have already announced for FIFA Ultimate Team, because we were getting so many different cards into the game this year. We've got that white card that looks like an icon. We've got the kind of player of the month looking card at that second one. The red one we already have information about, actually, because the red card that you see there is going to be a limited time card that you can only use in FIFA Ultimate Team until the end of the World Cup, so it'll disappear. It won't have any permanent effect on the market. We've got a purple design, a yellow design, and then a I don't even know how to describe that, turquoise purplish design at the end. And inevitably, some of those cards are going to be dynamic based on performance, based on how many wins they get, or maybe if they score a goal. I don't have exact details for each card quite yet, but if they're going to drop 6 different card designs for the World Cup mode alone, that's a lot of content. That's a lot of new cards. That's going to have an effect on existing cards. There's no doubt about it. But this year, since the World Cup isn't going to be in summer, we're not actually going to see a World Cup separate mode. All of these cards that you see right here, like that Courtois and that Pedri, those are those red cards that expire at the end. And you can see at the bottom, it shows you a little bit of a timer. So it shows you, yes, these cards have a limit on them and they will disappear after the World Cup is over. So again, they're not going to have a permanent effect on the market, those cards specifically, but there will be cards that do, of course, because there are 5 different more card designs in the game, but they're all going to drop into regular FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. There's not going to be a separate mode like we saw in 14 and in 18, which is very interesting because, you know, we don't have that card collecting aspect to go after. So maybe it'll have a different market crash kind of effect. Maybe it won't be immediate. I'm not exactly sure until we have a little bit more information on it. But we can see that Luka Modric right there, a pretty cool card to pack. And they're really only showing us information on those red card designs. So I'm very interested to see what are EA planning with some of those other cards. And you just saw FUT Heroes. Those FUT Heroes, like that Yaya Toure we just saw right there, they're going to be a big topic here in about a week because we're all going to get our pre-order free FUT Hero card in just a few days. And there are a lot of really, really good FUT Heroes that we can get. Pretty much the only dud out of all of them is Peter Crouch. Nonetheless, that's about all the information we're getting for Ultimate Team so far officially from EA. And we haven't really seen any leaks quite yet from any of the reliable sources that we see in the community for leaks. Of course, you guys always see me pull up this page on Morefut. That's the website that I've been looking at for leaks. And the only things we have right now is an expected Higuain SBC and an expected Lewandowski Player of the Month. Both very high-rated cards, both usable still at this point in the game, especially that Higuain looks absolutely disgusting. But it is going to be a little bit tougher to link given that fact that it's Argentina. So maybe look for some Argentina links that could go up with Higuain being added into the game. Possibly a couple of MLS guys by chance. But I'm not really too heavy on investing in that because I don't exactly know when it's going to come out or what price they're going to put it at. So some of these cards work really well for complement links. Some of them not so much. And since there's not one single card that I think really stands out to me, unless they price this very, very low, I don't see a ton of cards rising a ton because of it. On the other hand, if Lewandowski is super cheap, you could see Ousmane Dembele go up. You could see a lot of the different Barcelona cards that we've already seen added to the game go up in price. But the reason I bring this up is because, well, we don't have any information on an upcoming promo on Friday, and we normally do by now. We normally have a loading screen that EA put up. We normally have pretty much all the cards leaked. Well, this week we don't. And so on the other hand, while I believe the market will crash because of the World Cup mode, and I think that is inevitable, I think we have time. And I don't think you need to panic sell any cards at all because this opportunity where we're not going to see any promo on this upcoming Friday can give us a chance to hold on to these cards, breathe for a minute. It'll hype up the World Cup mode, but at the same time, the market will stabilize. And cards that already exist in the game will have to be bought and used for another week. Instead of adding another new promo to the game, having people replace their cards, meta cards drop, I think we'll actually, for a couple of days, especially throughout the weekend, actually see a little bit of a recovery. So any cards that you might have in your team, you can use for this weekend league. I don't think there's too much of a risk, but you definitely don't want to wait until EA start dropping promos and promos and promos, especially loading screens for World Cup mode, because I think that's when we're going to see some big hits to meta cards as people prepare to liquidate their coins and buy up all of these World Cup cards. In fact, I've already taken the initiative to make my team fully untradeable. I can just add back that Ousmane Dembele. I was using that Inform Ousmane Dembele that we used as an investment, but I ended up selling him onto the market. I can use this untradeable one. And so I've got my full untradeable team ready to go this weekend if I do end up playing Weekend League, which I'm not even 100% sure I will do because, well, quite frankly, the packs that I've gotten from the last couple of weekends have not been worth playing for. As I mentioned, it's pretty unlikely that we see a promo on Friday if we have no evidence of it coming out yet, but they could be dropping something like a team of the group stage in which maybe they're taking account for the final matches which happen on Thursday, today, the day that this is uploaded, and then they have to quickly put it together for Friday's content. It's not like EA to do that. It's probably unlikely, but it's a possible theory. But here's the thing. There are safe cards to go in either way with investments throughout the weekend. Because if you take a look at some of the cards from previous promos like Rule Breakers, if we take a look at Dzeko here, his card did really well out of packs. It rose in price a lot. Calvin Phillips even quicker to rise in price. Immediately out of packs, a huge rise. Even for some of the more expensive cards like Cristiano Ronaldo, it did the same thing. And Futbin is taking forever to load right now. There we go. So he got down as low as like 1.5 million, and he's all the way up to about 1.8 now. So if that tells you anything, it tells you that Salah might be pretty solid out of packs. It tells you that maybe cards like possibly Reece James or Theo Hernandez could be very, very good out of packs, especially given the fact that a lot of these guys aren't going to get a card in that position again for the rest of the year. The downside is there will be cards, other players that are going to compete with them in the future, especially once we get to World Cup mode. But for the time being, there's really no competition. They're going to go up out of packs, and I'd say it's a pretty solid time to invest in some of these guys. And although they're not at like terribly low prices, you're going to have marquee matchups later today, which is going to add supply. Just 6 p.m. content in general is going to add some supply. Maybe they drop another out of position SBC, like out of position SBC 5 or whatever, and that could bring down some of these prices. I have been monitoring some. Perisic is already on his way up. He got down to as low as like 100K, and he's already up to 140K. If we look at Denzel Dumfries, he's up about 2,000 coins now, but should come back down at least a little bit because of the content today at 6 p.m. UK. He got as low as 84K today. He's back up to 88, which, if you do the math, that's already covering tax before he starts rising. So if you can get him close to 80K today, go for it. And that's not the only one, of course. You can pick up any card that you think would end up being a solid investment out of packs. I like Reece James there. You know, I like Dumfries. I like even Perisic. He has gone up. I really like Cancelo. I think that he might be a card that I go in on. Obviously, he has to rise a little bit more for me to cover tax. Theo Hernandez, if the Rafael Leao inform tells us anything, is that left wing from Milan, that's meta, does really well out of packs. Plus, this guy can play striker or right wing. Very versatile card. It links with everything. So I think a card like this is going to do fantastically out of packs. So if you're going to hold on to any cards, I would go for some of these out of position cards like these. I would probably, even if you're on a low budget, you could possibly see Toure do well. But on the other hand, if we look at some of the rule breakers of the same price as him, such as Thomas Meunier, they haven't done too well out of packs. I think maybe a lot more people invest in those cards thinking they have more value than they do. Toure could be an exception. I don't know if he's the safest investment to go in on, although there isn't a ton of risk because the most you could lose is like 2,000 coins on him. But I don't think that there's really a ton to gain with him either. But hey, you never know. With no promo coming on Friday, all of these cards may end up rising in price a little bit. Now, here's the thing, guys. We are already seeing a lot of content on World Cup mode coming from EA. In fact, they've completely changed their social medias to spice up and hype up the World Cup update, which is what they're calling it, the FIFA World Cup 2022 update. And if you take a look at some of the other content creators that are actually in London right now, they are there for a capture event for World Cup mode. So they're all going to be capturing the World Cup mode today. I believe there was a video. There it is. If you take a look here from B4 Atlanta, you can see all of the content creators in London, all the monitors set up, playing the World Cup mode. You can see it on the screens right there. And so you're probably going to see a lot of content on your timeline, whether it be on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All this content for World Cup mode is probably going to be dropping here soon, although I don't think it's going to be anything crazy game-changing. I'm not sure if they're getting access to any of the Ultimate Team content. You're going to see a lot of World Cup content dropping here soon. EA are really hyping this up, so I think that once we actually start to see them leaking and dropping, loading screens and all that, we are going to see a big drop in prices for meta cards. Whether it's briefly or not, it is going to be a good idea to get out on some of those investments. If this video helped you guys out with World Cup mode preparation, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more FIFA 23 Ultimate Team content. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. If you've made it to the end, the secret comment of the day is going to be World Cup hype. Comment that down below. I'll make sure to heart everybody's comment. That includes World Cup hype. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.